you know the Middle Tennessee market the best. What are some things that you recommend a seller watch out for when they're getting offers on their property in the Middle Tennessee area?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it is something that we cover with a lot of people. And what a couple of the first things that come to mind is if you're whatever company you're talking to or working with, can you find them online? Do they have a presence? Where are they? I mean, traditionally, if you're able to work with a more local company, you are going to get the better offer. They know the area, they understand the neighborhoods, the different subsects of certain areas the best, right?
Yep.
And so we really just encourage people to know who's the face, who is it, who is the face of the person that you're talking with, and that's something that we strive to have is that genuine, authentic, personal touch. And so that's one aspect too, is just general reviews. What do people say? What's the experience like? How did it go? That's number two. And then another one is, you mentioned the bait and switch. We call it the foot in the door technique, which is just running rampant right now.
Yep.
Can't tell you why. That's not how we operate. So that's one of and that's something we'll just communicate with someone. We hear an offer and we're like, wow, that is a great offer. You should take that. Here's my word of caution. But if that is true, if they can follow through, you should take that. If your experience changes, please give us a call. But those are probably the top three. Who are you actually working with? What do other people say about them online? Multiple ways you can check that out. The Better Business Bureau, Google reviews, just looking at their site, just what is the interaction, the personality of the company you're talking with. And then also just ensuring, like, if that's the offer, that needs to be the offer.
Exactly. And we tell people to look at the due diligence period in the contract. You know, if they're putting in a 30, 45 day due diligence in their contract, like if they're not willing to, now, if you, the seller, need to close in 60 days, that's one thing. But if you're getting an offer from an investor and that investor is trying to ask you to close in 30, 45, 60 days from now, and you didn't ask for it, red flag. You know, you also mentioned the local company, right? That's a good point. There are a lot of really I'd say after COVID, this became more prevalent. People, you know, doing deals virtually, and they're not local to that market. I would be willing to bet that if you are working with a company that is not local to your market, 9.9 times out of 10, they are a wholesaler. Now, there's nothing wrong with wholesaling. We wholesale houses. I'm sure you wholesale houses, right? But these companies, they are a one-trick pony. That's all they do. They only wholesale. They're not local to that market. So they're telling you to get the contract over the phone, and then they're just going to advertise the property out to people like you and me in the local market and say, what are you going to give me for this house? Or usually they're going to ask some astronomical amount for the house, and we're going to laugh at them and say, no, good, nice try again. And then they'll ask you for a reduction and a reduction and a reduction. For example, I saw a deal the other day in my mailbox. This wholesaler has been sending this deal out every day since November the 4th. And you and I are recording this video on December the 18th of 2024. And they have been trying to wholesale this deal out every day since November the 4th. And they have come down $45,000 in their asking price. I'm like, just
Goodness.
I feel so bad for the seller on the other end of that transaction. That's like, hey, when are you going to close on my house? Why is this taking so long? Like, what? Come on. Like, what? Why are you asking me for a price? You know, come on. Seriously? You know? Do you have any other kind of tips locally for Tennessee? Like, I mean, I tell people they can research people on the, you know, Secretary of State. They can look up the LLCs. They can do deed record searches, that sort of thing. I mean, I'm sure you guys have that in Tennessee as well.
Yeah, it's a good point. Absolutely. Looking up, like, how long has that company been in business? Who is associated with it? Where do they originate from? Do they do business in Tennessee? Is it other places? Or are they kind of hiding that they actually are somewhere else, that they say they work here? I mean, all those like kind of little due diligence stuff. And many of it is just you just don't know. It's just, it's kind of foreign. It's just so many things are just stuff that people just like have no idea to look for, to ask about. And so those are things well, here's another one actually, Brad. We tell people if they haven't come to the house, if they don't even know what it looks like, that is very risky to accept an offer like that.
Yep.
And that's why we always try to go out, sit down in the living room, like see the house, understand the story, the situation, talk to the people, and just shake someone's hand and go over an agreement together in person. Ask your questions. Let's answer them. What are your objections? Let's talk about them. Companies that are not able to do that, again, I have a lot of doubt in their ability to follow through and actually close.
Yeah, if they haven't seen it, how do they know? Because I'm not calling sellers liars, but I've been doing this now for 9 years, and I will say that most sellers tend to sugarcoat the condition of their property, and they're not forthcoming, not because they're trying to be malicious, but because they're trying to sugarcoat it so that you'll buy it and pay more money. And then we come out and we see it and we're like, oh, okay. And I'm not trying to downplay someone's house and their property, but if you are transparent with people up front, then these things don't become an issue later. But a lot of these out-of-state companies, they're just going off of what you told them. They haven't seen the property, and they're not experts in that market. One of the reasons why at Probate Resource, we partner with local investors like Charles in the individual markets is because, Charles, you're the expert in Middle Tennessee. You know your market better than I do. I would much rather hand the customer and the ball off to you, and you deal with the customer locally, because that provides a better experience for the people that choose to do business with us at probateresource.com. And you know the market. You're going to give them the best and most accurate offer with less chance of things going awry than I would, being, I'm not that far from you, but hundreds of miles away, and looking at pictures. I can't see everything in pictures, but you're the local person. So that's why we choose the model that we choose at our company, which is to work with local investors that we have vetted and determined share the same values as us and will be the best service to the people that we deal with.
Yeah, one thing I'd add to that is just there is absolutely a right way and wrong way to do this business. And I would say, like, Brad, you're doing it the right way. I believe strongly that we are doing it the right way. And it's just about articulating and showing homeowners and sellers, and just talking to them. We just want the chance and opportunity to talk with them so they can see and hear and feel the difference in the multiple groups. Because we do encourage to talk to other people at times so that you do feel comfortable. Like, by no means are we ever pressuring anyone to do anything. It's a natural instinct. Call multiple people, get multiple, opinions. But I do believe that those that do it the right way stand out the most.
Absolutely. 100%. Imagine that, doing the right thing.